Well, guys, welcome back. You're gonna love this podcast, episode 31.
Yeah, this is a podcast like no other. We talked about. We have a very
Cults.
unique guest. You definitely want to tune in for this.
Cults,
He has a crazy background,
food,
hilarious.
English,
We talked
Judaism,
everything
Christianity,
about the wars, that are
war, the
going
Ukraine
on,
war.
the world,
America is the
politics,
best. In
religion,
his opinion.
and a very, very unique perspective from a very unique guy.
Yeah.
that
Some
you might wanna-
battles with alcohol. What else?
Yep.
Drugs.
I mean,
It's
do
a
we need-
lot. It's
do
a
we
lot.
need more. That's very interesting already.
That is very interesting.
Yeah, so
we didn't
check
even
it out.
we didn't even get to talk about your trip. How you got sick on this trip. We didn't get to talk about that.
We'll do the next one.
Next one.
But tune
Big
in.
guy.
You're gonna want to see Chris Warren.
6'8", 375 pounds, sick in economy. It's ridiculous. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned.
So where am I pretending I immigrated from? I can do whatever you want. I can do an accent. Certain places I can't might be offensive, so we're gonna have to like narrow down.
Canada.
That's the worst place to be from. I fucking hate those guys.
You know, it took me forever to figure out your last hat, the little raccoon. No, it was like a squirrel. That was New Hampshire or Vermont?
It's a Maine,
Maine.
no?
That's right. Mount Olympus.
But it's like instead of the tree of Lebanon, it was this little cat, a Maine Coon cat.
Oh, so it was like a play on it.
Yeah, because the original Maine flag is inspired by like the legendary tree of Lebanon. If you go back into like ancient mythology, which you see on Lebanon's flag, so I forget exactly why they took that mythos with them to Maine, and they took that and they have a star that's supposed to be the North Star, and that's their original Maine flag back when they were like a colony.
Oh, he's way too smart for this podcast. We definitely overshot with Chris.
We're gonna have a fun time. When we start, how do we do this?
We actually recording.
Yeah,
we're
glad
recording?
you're doing it, man.
Recording.
Oh,
We
beautiful.
Are we really?
throw this in, of
All
course.
right.
It's like get that authenticity, and then we start up. We start up as soon as y'all ready.
I'm ready whenever you guys are. Is there a theme? Is there anything I should be prepared for?
No.
Okay.
No, man. Promote whatever you want to promote.
The only thing you got to prepare for is the Scotch bonnet pepper test. Yeah, we're gonna bring a Scotch bonnet. You got to bite it, see how much you can tolerate.
I'm sorry, what is this?
We finally got something Chris doesn't know about. He's like, what the hell are you talking
Scotch bonnet, the heat tester. No.
about? You seem to me like a guy that'd be good at Jeopardy. Like, you'd be good on Jeopardy.
I don't have any useful knowledge.
But you got the history stuff.
Yeah.
Your videos, right, with the history and like, do you memorize it? Do you take a while to memorize it? Because if not, you'd be surprised how good you know.
No, so the history videos, because I don't do those as much anymore. That was really just a bunch. So I spent my whole college career thinking I was going to go to grad school and become a professor. That was the goal. And then I was
History?
Yeah, I wanted to be a history professor and go to grad. Specifically, I wanted to be a Southern African history professor. So not South Africa, but the southern half of the continent.
Okay.
And long story, I had a professor that was her specialty. It was really interesting. It's also kind of like a little bit of a gamify thing because everyone wants to like teach the Civil War in Rome and World War II. There's not very many specializations outside of like the Western world. So I was like, okay, that's my in. It'll be easier for me to get a professorship because there's way less people that will teach about like Namibia. So I can probably get in, and I don't really care where the history is. I just like the history. So sure, I'll go with that.
Wow.
And then I got really into freebasing cocaine, which I later learned is crack.
Oh.
I didn't think it was at the time. I'm like, no, what am I, a fucking homeless person? No, I'm freebasing.
I don't know what that means, freebasing. I've heard of that my whole life.
Freebasing is you basically, the way I did it, and there's other ways to do it, I'm sure. This is the only way I ever did it. So basically, you take cocaine, and instead of snorting it, you the way I did it was, like a dab rig for like weed concentrates. So it's like a weird bong, and then you have like we call it a bucket. It's like made of crystal. It's like a little bucket. It's usually made of something else. They say it's made of crystal. It's like some Chinese knockoff stuff. And you heat it till it gets red hot, and then you drop the cocaine on it, and you suck in as hard as you can, and then you get a nice little buzz out of that. The only difference is with crack, they use a base, and they cook it up. I don't know the specifics.
Yeah, they cook the crack. I heard one of the things they cook the crack with is, oh man, I already forgot what it was. It was some crazy chemical, like something in like
rat poison and
some crazy
baking soda. And
Funny, I do that in a joke, in a bit about my uncle teaching us how
His
to make
uncle used
crack.
to cook crap.
Did he? That's a good uncle right there. That's a life skill.
Yeah.
Things ever get hard, you got a backup
BOCES.
plan.
That's exactly what I say
know?
for knowledge, because knowledge is portable.
Well,
gonna be
there's like no real coke out there anymore. There's no crack. I don't know
gonna be a
anyone
new-
that smokes crack.
New BOCES subject. Auto mechanics and crack.
Yeah, so
making.
you got to bring, if it gets bad, you can bring crack back. Because now it's retro. It's old enough. It's from the 80s. People be like, oh, it's like different. No, I'm not doing fentanyl. I'm smoking crack. I'm cool, you know?
Exactly.
Jeez.
We'll find a population to target and just addict them and blame it on other people. It'd be just like the 80s.
Jeez.
We'll find somebody. I don't know.
And with that, welcome back, folks. This is your camera. This is your camera. With that, episode 31.
Yeah,
Episode
is it
31?
really? Yeah, I don't know. I don't
Episode 31. Episode 31. Look at our chairs, guys. Look,
Yeah, we got new chairs.
Look, we are doing big things, everybody. But today we're excited to have a fantastic guest in the building. Tell them who we got in the building today.
Yeah, I can't believe he said yes to this, and he's too late now. He's already in the building, and he's a hilarious guy. I don't know. I don't know how long you know Chris, but I met him, I don't know, years ago. Chris Warren,
He's in the
the
building.
one and only.
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you for
He's
having
got
me.
an awesome Instagram page
Yeah.
with hilarious. How would you describe it? Like, if you had to, can I describe it for you?
Yeah. You know what? I would love that.
So his Instagram is short, hilarious, educational videos on history, politics, current events. They border silly, but yet you learn a lot, and it's almost like watching like your history professor or like your political science professor give you the most hilarious version, yet truthful at the same time of the subject. Boom.
Yeah, boom. That's it.
Most people just call me a psyop or paid opposition. I've been accused of working for the CIA, FBI, a Hollywood plant, Mossad, KGB. Everyone thinks
Oh man.
I'm like, no, I'm just doing this for free. This is. I would love for someone to pay. I will switch sides so quick.
Oh,
If one day you turn on my channel, I'm speaking fluent Mandarin with no accent. Know that I got paid. Not even well. I just got paid something, and I'm very. And if you ever saw me being pro-America, no, you fucking didn't. I've always been pro the People's Republic of China.
oh man, that's right. I love it.
Hilarious,
I love it.
hilarious. Well, welcome, man. Welcome. Glad you could make it in.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is a beautiful studio.
Yeah. It is.
you.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's just, man, Terrence. Big up to Terrence, man, because we started out. We were talking about it earlier. We started out green screen.
Okay. Yeah, I see it over there.
Yeah, it was green screen. We were American immigrant, and then it's a year and a half. It's a year and what, like 8 months?
Is it that long, really?
8, 9. Yeah, it's almost
Okay.
2 years.
We took a
It'll be
little
2 years in December.
hiatus for the summer, so if you're watching this, we're back.
Because you had to go back
And
to mother country.
this will air on public access. We should have warned you about that.
Oh, nice. All right.
So,
My grandma will finally be proud of me.
there's like 73 old people who listen to this probably. If you're listening,
You can get it. You
Pretty
can
exciting.
see it on public access if you're in the area. You can see it on the town's website, and then it's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
So I gotta be careful about swearing and stuff.
You good?
you can, but it'll just be bleeped.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
think
bleeped.
you're gonna out felony us.
We didn't warn one person, and we forgot one
Alpha
guest,
family.
and he just cursed every second. And then Terrence took him about 7 months to edit that episode. So,
that guy's never coming back now.
yeah.
I'll try my best. I'll keep it reserved.
So,
So, what made you start the Instagram videos? Like, what made you start that genre of what you're doing, which is interesting, and I love it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I was just doing. So I was doing stand-up comedy. I mean, that's where we all met.
Yes.
And everyone just kept telling me, "Oh, you got to do social media. You got it. It's not like the old times. You can't just hang out at a club. No one's gonna just randomly take you on the road. Like the only way to get management, the only way to get anywhere is like you got to do social media." And I don't know how true that is, but I was like, "Well, my career is not where I want it to be. So I guess I'll. What do I have to lose? I'll try that."
yeah.
And so my two buddies that I used to do a podcast with, Ben Kirsch and Matt Lopes, hilarious comics.
Hilarious guy.
Actually, Matt Lopes' birthday, so
Yeah,
They
happy
probably
birthday,
won't
Matt,
be
if
when
he's
this
watching.
airs, but you
Well,
should
happy birthday.
Yeah.
go wish
Big
him
Matt.
happy birthday. But yeah, no, they were really on me about like you got to make content. That they're really big into content. They make great stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, see it.
So I was finally like, okay, and I kind of like thought about making sketches, and I wasn't really like, I don't know, my brain doesn't work that way. I couldn't. Like I made a bunch of horrible sketches, and then they're like, "Man, it can be whatever you want. You just have to make something. Like we do sketches, you can do whatever you want." I was like, "Okay," and so I started making the history videos just because I had all this history knowledge that because I didn't go to grad school, is going nowhere. And so I made the concept of like, I'm not going to do any research. I'm just going to do things by memory, how much I remember them and what I think is cool. And then that led to tons of people being mad if I got something wrong,
The internet.
Love that.
which was great. And I remember a big one was, this is, I made a video about Olga of Kiev, who's, this powerful, I think she was a queen in Kiev way back in the Middle Ages.
I remember that one. I remember.
Yeah, and so long story, she like killed everyone that had killed her husband. It's like a whole revenge story, very Shakespearean, very cool person. But that was back when I was doing subtitles, and I spelled Kiev the correct way that you do in English, because people don't know this. You anglicize everything in English. It's the correct way. We're the dominant language, so when it comes in, we pronounce it Kiev. We're the hegemony, so we're going to pronounce it our way. I'm not adjusting to your third world fuck state.
It's
My
just
apologies, I'm
so
already
arrogant
swearing.
what we do.
No, we're correct. We're the best. But because
I totally don't agree with you, Chris. But sorry,
but,
I just fist.
oh yeah, our country can't figure out education. Let us tell you how to spell. All right, calm down. So, where do you send your kids to college? Oh, our country, great.
Jeez, you're gonna get some new followers. Boy.
Yes, I love it.
I spelled it the correct anglicized way, which we got Kiev, where we got all our Slavic and Eastern European history, which was from the Russians, because they've historically been the dominant group over there. So when we got everything, we got it from them.
Mm-hmm.
So we spell it the Russian way. That's how it's spelled in English. That's the correct.
K-I-E-V, right?
K-I-E-V is the correct spelling of Kiev
But
in
it's-
English when you anglicize it, but it's also the Russian spelling. And so I had all these Ukrainians calling me a Russian bot and freaking out and getting so mad and like, you're a Putin bot. And it's like, this has nothing to do with this. This is how you correctly spell it in my language. I'm not speaking Ukrainian. You're speaking English right now. Actually, you're misspelling it when you talk to me because we're speaking English. You should pronounce. We don't call Germany Deutschland. We call it Germany. We don't call Japan Nippon. We call it Japan because we anglicize it. All right? It just is what it
You
is.
know what's funny? Like they do that to us though, because so my wife is Russian.
Yeah.
I don't speak Russian. I'm Slovakian. I speak fluent Slovak. But I know we do it in
rusty,
Slovak.
still rusty.
In Slavic languages, we do that to English. There's words where we say it, and then an American would be like, "That's not how we say it in English." We have our own word for it. I don't know where that comes from. Like,
Well, it's just it's a long linguistic thing. But like in Spanish countries, they call us Estados Unidos.
Right.
It's not incorrect. They're correct when you speak Spanish. That's what America is called. So anyway, long story short, I got a bunch of death threats. All these Ukrainians were this is like my second video I ever did. All these Ukrainians were super mad at me, and so ever since then, I have been super pro Russia. Go Putin, glass Kiev. They're all those Ukrainians are basically Russians. Take them out, bring them home.
Jeez.
So I'm glad we've delayed the war so more of these bullies can die.
Oh,
That is my only thing
Chris,
I'm happy about.
I would love to see Chris. Do you go through Brooklyn with a mask on, or do you go open face through Brooklyn? Because a lot of Ukrainians there.
Oh yeah, and like what's it called?
I used to
Bay
go
Ridge?
there.
Bay Ridge, yeah.
Brighton Beach.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm
Brighton
gonna
Beach
go
is
to Brighton
all
Beach.
Ukrainians.
What a great place. Oh my, I can't wait to go to Brighton Beach. Oh, I'm so sad.
you ever
I
been
can't
there?
go there anymore.
Have you ever been there?
I drove through.
So I had a
See, he didn't even stop. He saw and it was like, ugh.
But I used to live. I'm from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Well, I lived in Crown Heights, so it was really I had no business over in Brighton Beach.
You lived in Crown Heights?
Yeah.
Brighton Beach is like another world.
homeland.
You
You speak Yiddish?
No.
Oh, you missed opportunity living over there.
No, I lived in Crown Heights.
but it's got sections, right? Like the Jewish section, the Caribbean section, right? I don't know much about Crown Heights.
But you're right. You're right. On what you would say north of Eastern Parkway, there's a lot of Caribbean people, like from Eastern Parkway in between Empire Boulevard, Hasidic. Now they own a lot of stuff all over, right? Like I remember years ago. I'm talking about 20 plus years ago. For Labor Day that just passed, it was a Caribbean celebration weekend. So I was at a party, an open backyard party, and I saw a Hasidic guy like way off, walking. Then I saw him stop like right over there. I mean, continuing dancing, whatever. Then I seen him come a little closer. I was like, hold on,
He was intrigued.
He was just there. Yeah, he was. Then the next thing you know, he's in the middle of everything.
That is
Girls
hilarious.
oh my God, because the girl danced with him, everything. He danced. Then he went on his merry way.
Yeah. You converted him.
He converted for about 5 minutes. 5 minutes of soca.
No, but Brighton Beach. I dated a girl for 2 years, Ukrainian girl. I met in school, and this is like before my wife. This is like 20-something years ago. And if you ever go down there, you should like I kind of miss that about the city because I grew up in Queens, grew up in Bayside, and now I live in Westchester. So I grew up in Queens. But if there's parts of the city you go to, and it's like if you want to feel like what it's like living in Ukraine, go to Brighton Beach and walk around. It is pretty cool though, because you don't realize you're still in America.
Because there's some times where I'm like, wow, I wonder what it would be to be like the poorest, most backwards, corrupt country in Europe, and like that would be. I wish I could
snap.
figure that out. That would be so great to feel that feeling.
I meant more just for the food.
We know
I was talking about the
Eastern
food.
Europe, they're known for their delicious food.
Oh God!
All those
got some
Italian and
delicious
French
stuff.
restaurants got pushed
Well,
out for all the Polish and Ukrainian
This
restaurants.
is
Actually, Slavic food is Russian food is French influenced. A lot of people don't know
Is
that.
it really? I didn't
Yeah,
know
it is.
that.
Yeah,
See, my only experience.
All the French went to the SARS and the whole. They have foods that they have dishes. One of their main side dishes is literally like a French name called Olivier.
The only Eastern European food I eat is like Ashkenazi Jewish food, and it's horrendous.
Okay, so
It's-
let's talk
it's
about
depressing.
so because I'm Eastern European, I'll tell you, that's horrendous. Top worst food is probably like, ironically, they have the best pastries and desserts, but they have the worst. I think the worst food is German, Polish, basic. Like my country, do Slovakian basic. Russian, I think it's a little better because they're French influenced.
Okay.
The best is Croatian, where I was just there. You know why? Because they're influenced by. They're like if you took Slavic, Italian, and Greek and Baltic and mixed it and made a food. That's how good it is. It's such an awesome food.
Okay, see, I don't know anything about it.
Flaky pastry of Greece, octopus, seafood, same Italian pasta and Italian dishes, and Eastern European. And you'll be eating schnitzel, which is like Austrian, and the guy next to you is eating like octopus and like that flaky pastry they eat in Greece. It's like a mishmash.
The baklava.
Yeah, so Croatia's pretty cool.
Okay.
The rest of Slavic, yeah, it's pretty. We have awesome pastry, some of the best, because it's Austrian based,
Hold on,
but it's terrible. The food is just basic.
are you Croatian?
Slovak, Czechoslovakia.
Okay, I want to make sure we're not biased here.
No, I'm not. so me telling you that is.
Nearly everyone I
No,
talk to,
no.
their culture's food's the best food.
But
No, yeah.
listen.
No, they have sense
I'm
memories.
Irish. It's not.
As
I'll own.
a Caribbean person, you're absolutely correct.
It's like somebody from England being like,
just look on the comments. Look on the comments and go through all the islands. We make the best curry goat. We make the best jerk. We make the best macaroni pie. We make the best this, best that.
yeah, it's sense memory. It's because your grandma made it that way. Like this food I
but
eat.
just so the Barbados does make the best macaroni pie. So
What is a macaroni pie?
it's like the island version of mac and cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it just mac and cheese, but we're calling it something else?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's made a little different,
All right.
but it's good. It's top tier.
Okay.
Top tier macaroni pie.
It's macaroni
See, I
and
grew
pie
up with
form.
an Irish mother, so all my food was boiled.
You know what? I heard that.
hash
I
is
make
horrendous.
I make this thing called it's a fritter. It's a codfish fritter. We call it fish cakes in Barbados.
Okay.
So we used to go with our friends in the Poconos like every Labor Day weekend, and there was an Irish girl that come by. She goes, "I look forward to this every year because I grew up Irish. We boiled everything." That's exactly what she said.
Yeah, man, salt and pepper is like an exotic spice though in Ireland. I know.
You know how you know that Irish culture is the worst? Here's what I'm going to tell you. I can say I'm Irish.
He's bashed the Eastern
Beer is
Europeans.
awesome. The
No,
beer
he's-
culture and
he's-
pub culture.
no, our producer's Irish, so
So am I. You know, it's. Listen, that's why I have a stage name. Okay, I'm not going by that Mick bullshit that I'm named by. My great grandparents came to this country fleeing Ireland, and they got here, and they told. I remember my grandfather always telling me. They told him, "You're never speaking Gaelic, and we're not Catholic anymore. We're in America. We're not doing any of that BS from the old country. It was horrible being Irish. We're WASPs now. Like my Irish side of the family came here and just pretended to be WASPs. They just got here and they're like, we're WASPs now. We're not doing this anymore.
You know, a lot of people did that. Not only the Irish, a lot of people came from where they came from and just brand new start.
Yeah, we're Methodist. We don't speak Gaelic anymore. All our kids are getting names like William. No more Connors. No more Cecils. And you know.
And they dropped the Mick. A lot of them dropped the MC, the Mick, right? Like I knew a guy named Dylan. He's like, oh, my family's just dropped the Mick Dylan. And now it's just Dylan.
No.
Yeah, they did that.
Yeah, no one's
Italians
proud
did
to be
that, too.
Irish.
You don't say that for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, because none of those people are really Irish. They're all doing Irish face and having a great time. But
Irish
one day it's cool to
face.
be Irish.
God.
Irish face.
Yeah, I know. You know what drives me nuts when people break out into those Irish songs at the pub?
They're horrible.
They're horrible. It's only Irish
not
people.
good.
I know.
Oh,
What you saying?
what if we played a mandolin and wore sweaters? Isn't this great? Like, we're gonna do the river dance. It's like tap dancing, but somehow more gay. It's like, oh, thank God I was born Irish. Thank all my culture.
Jeez.
They do have an awesome accent, though. You got to admit that.
Their accent's fun. The
it's pretty
Scottish is
cool.
better though.
Yeah.
No,
What?
there's a part of Irish. You follow that guy on TikTok, on Instagram, that guy with the big beard, the Irish beard, is like, yo, cunt. That dude, you know that guy that does like the
That's
little
your-
videos? He calls it how does he say cunt? He says, I know he has to beep that out probably.
You're ruining this music. I'm gonna put a
Like
zin.
he'll,
Is
like
that
he'll just
okay?
be
On both?
like he'll just be standing in
A
front
what?
of a castle.
Zin, you ever heard of Zinny?
Oh yeah, you could have that.
Oh, okay, I just want to make sure.
I have no idea what's that.
It's the last
podcast.
pleasure I have left.
What's it called?
A zin.
Oh yeah, zin. So it's like chewing what?
It's like sorry, it's like tobacco. It's like what is it called? The old tobacco dip, not the chewing, but in the
like-
packets.
Okay.
It's just like the
Is it like
chemical
is it like
version.
snuff?
Yeah, it's like snuff.
Okay.
What does it give you? Nicotine,
Yeah. So
but not the flavor of tobacco.
you can get that flavor. I have in cucumber lime at the moment. It's delicious. I have to go to my Syrian gas station down the road from me because they illegally this is a joke. They illegally import
Joke,
the
people,
ones directly from Sweden, so it's got the little elf language on there.
Oh, so it's
And,
tobacco but flavored like cucumber lime or something.
Yeah, cucumber, because you can get the weird flavors and the higher nicotine dosages from Europe. It's like the only good thing Europe does for us. So
This is like the wine cooler of alcohol.
yeah,
Right. You said that the Scottish accent is better than the Irish.
1000%.
Which is funny because that's how I met you. I did my version of a Scottish accent at the open mic. Remember at Jackie B's?
oh, that was forever ago. Yeah.
Yeah. And then right now, black Scottish people are trending on TikTok because somebody discovered that there are black Scottish people.
They exist.
And Roy Wood Jr. was just over there in Edinburgh, over there talking to black Scottish creators, and it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he's becoming Scottish now.
One of my favorite things is going into Europe is seeing like people like even in like Slovakia speaking like a black guy speaking fluent Slovak.
Let me tell you, you're
it's
probably the
unsettling.
only person in Slovakia that feels that way.
Yeah, it's really unsettling and it's fun to look at.
You said
I went to a sushi place. It was all Vietnamese people speaking fluent Slovak with like no accent. Who
Really?
grew up there? It's weird. It's really weird. So the black Irish thing is like just
black Irish, black Scottish, is all over. Just like you see white Jamaicans.
right. The white Jamaican thing is
Those
too.
are
You're
my
looking
favorite.
at them.
Dude.
And you ever there are videos out there with Chinese speaking patois because it's like, yo, me not from China. I saw me born and grow. That's how I saw me born and grow. Jamaica me born and grow. Me is a Jamaican. Yeah. And they're it's all over. Trinidadian, same thing. Barbados, Chinese, Beijing, same thing.
So you're we're here with Chris Warren. He's anti-Irish,
I'm not
Ukrainian.
anti-Irish. I'm ashamed of my Irish heritage.
Oh, gotcha.
Difference.
Anti-Ukrainian though.
I'll live. Listen, they started it.
God.
If Ukraine as a nation would like to apologize to me for what some of the meaner people in their country have done to me, I am happy to let bygones be bygones. But here's the thing. When they were all being mean to me, because they were legit sending me death threats, they were sending me, like, you should kill yourself. I hope your mom gets hit by a car. Like in broken English, because they don't have a great education system. and that's why they don't know how to spell Kiev. But they're doing all this stuff. And so it was like my second video I'd really ever posted, and it got like a ton of traction comparatively. And so I was like really overwhelmed. And I had all these Russian guys in the comments. Shouts out to because some of them were just like, oh yeah, he knows. And I'm like, no, I was making a political statement.
Yeah.
Couple Russian dudes, solid bros, were like, no, technically that is how you say it in English. He's doing the correct Anglicization, and gave the explanation I was thinking that I was too scared to post. And I was like, Ruska. I was like, let's get him, dude. Let's get the Donbass. Let's get Crimea.
Nice.
Russia needs a warm water port.
Yes,
Jeez.
that's right.
Are
man.
you saying yes? Do you agree?
I'm Slovakian. We're pro-Russian. We're like the one European Union that we're pro-Russia. You know
Got
that,
the
right?
Belarusians. They're pro Russia.
They're not European Union. I said European.
Oh,
Union.
European
We're
Union.
like one of the few. Slovakia is
What's
like
the other one? I thought there were
the other one is it's Slovakia and hang on, Is it Romania? I think Slovakia and Romania are pro-Russian.
That makes sense. All right, that tracks.
Poland too. Poland's more is definitely pro-Russia.
Oh, They're super anti-Russia.
No, you're right. You're right.
They're begging
You're
for
right.
Article 5 so they can
You're
go
right.
burn down entire villages.
Jeez.
But dude, I'm with. Listen, it's a very complicated thing, that whole Russian-Ukrainian thing. It's too long to get into on one podcast. But anybody who tells you it's like very simple, it's not.
No, I can explain it. It's super
freaking
simple.
nuts. Go ahead.
We're using the Ukrainians as a meat wall to grind down the Russians, to punish them for the Soviet Union, because we're still upset about that, and to make sure they can never be a world superpower again. We've killed an entire generation of Russia's fighting age men. They're in a decline, a demographic decline. So this was the peak. The last year they'll have this many fighting age men. Half of those are dead. They'll never recover from this demographically. They're going to spend the next 30 years being a smaller population country. We got them to use up all their advanced helicopters, airplanes, missiles, tanks, armored cars, everything. When people are like, oh, they're going to invade Europe next, what do we do? They can't invade Ukraine. They're not coming for Poland, an actual functional military. They're not going to be able to do it, let alone if Germany and France and all these guys jump. Because people forget France is like the 5th most powerful country in the world. They don't get enough credit. French Foreign Legion all day. But it was, and the biggest thing we did is we got them to expend all their Cold War era stock of old missiles. People think, oh, A-gauge. No, they had a ton of old school ballistic missiles that they had to waste on Ukraine. And we weren't worried about them having them because they got way better stuff they've also wasted. We were worried about them selling it to a third world nation looking to pull away from America. So the issue with that Cold War stock is like, yeah, it's not that great, but if you give it to Angola, for instance, that has a lot of oil that we're kind of like fighting the Chinese to get hold of through like the back channels. If you give it to like Angola, well, now that's a problem because we can't do anything unless we send in the military, and we don't want to do that. So I guess Angola's Chinese now. They don't have the missiles to send Angola anymore, so they're ripe for the picking. So this was a great CIA high-level move. Anyone who's upset about this is a moron. This was, we don't care about Ukraine. They were the most backwards, corrupt country. They
Number one, more corrupt than Russia. That is
more
true.
corrupt than Russia.
Yeah.
They had my favorite was Azov Battalion, which R.I.P. to the real ones. Azov Battalion was when they started the war. Ukraine basically didn't have a military, and so they had all these like militias, right? But not like American militias where it's like a couple good old boys in the woods like shooting their ARs. No, like militias with their own tanks, like because they just had all this Cold War stuff that people grabbed and like were doing their own thing. So they had these militias, and so the army couldn't do anything. The only thing that was effective was these militias, and there was this one Azov battalion that was the only, like when the rest of the Ukrainian line fell, they kept pushing forward, and they were the only ones to consistently win engagements against the Russians. The Russians started sending like KGB instead of conscripts, and they'd get killed, and they kept...
This is early war?
This is early war, like first couple months. And CNN was like, oh my God, Azov Battalion, they're heroes. We love them. They're Ukrainian heroes. And then it came out, Azov Battalion's charter, which is they're straight up Nazis. They're not like they have a swastika on their charter. Their whole goal is to kill communists and Jews and any minority in Ukraine and keep, in their own words, to keep Ukrainian pure and Slavic. And so CNN had been for a month like, these heroes of liberation and Western values are pushing back these evil far-right Russians. And then it's like, bro, they got SS bolts on the tanks. You can see them in some of the videos. I don't know how no intern caught this. There's like a guy making a speech, and they're like, the hero of Azov Battalion. He's in front of a tank with an SS bolt on it.
This is what, so you know when Putin gets on TV and says we're fighting the Nazis? And we're like, what Nazis,
Oh,
you
they
idiot?
really were, bro.
This is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
This is what he's talking
And
about.
here's-
But the America won't show that to you. That's the propaganda. We have propaganda here.
But here's the thing.
This
Russia's
is how it
also
works.
evil. They're both evil. As far as I'm concerned, it's Nazis and communists killing each other, and hopefully they go to the last man. It doesn't bother me. That's their problem.
But understand, like Russia going after Ukraine is if you had like Jamaica conquering Barbados and Trinidad and saying we're totally different, and Americans saying, oh, they're very different culturally. It's like the same people. It's like brother fighting brother.
He didn't like that. I saw it. He's like,
It's like the same people. It's
at the end of the day, it's very similar. We all
it's brother fighting brother, and it's
British,
just being
British,
fed by
British,
American
African,
money.
British, African descendants, British, ex-colonies.
This would have been over 2.5 years ago if America didn't have their money involved.
Well, no, because
but
we,
it's
we
just-
came in, we wouldn't let the Ukrainians sign a peace deal because, like, you haven't killed enough Russians yet. They still are like the third world. We got to knock them down below the French. And we did. Congratulations, America.
So some good old boy happens to stumble across this and go, "What the hell are you talking about?" Right? He goes, "What do you mean America's evil? America's the only shining star upon the hill. What nonsense is this?"
No, you misunderstand me.
No.
This is good.
No,
this is a good thing we did for the world. We are the good guys.
I'm hearing you, but it'd be interpreted as, "No, America doesn't do any evil. What are you talking about? America's the best."
We don't. We don't. We do
Just
some
go with it,
bad.
Dave.
We do some bad things, but the end goals are always a net positive. What, you want the Chinese running the world? They're doing a genocide in their own country of the Uyghurs. And you think we're bad. It's between us and them. There's not a third option where these countries have self-determination and no one bullies them.
We're just the best of the worst. It's just America, you know.
No, we're the best of the best.
What do they say about capitalism? How does it go? You've got to know it.
Greed
Capitalism is just the it's the something to the effect of like it's the best of the worst ideas. No, wait, hold on. It's the least shitty idea, you know. You know how people say all these problems with capitalism? It's a lot better than socialism and communism and
Amen, brother.
fascism and Nazism or whatever. It's got problems, but
Franco had
nowhere
some
near what
good
the other
ideas.
ones have.
Franco, you know.
So
The worst economic system except for all the others. That's exactly it. There you
good.
go.
I like
Well, he pulled it up.
yeah.
So,
That's beautiful.
yeah.
Terrible.
So, I remember learning that in like school.
with,
you know?
with all of that, Cam was there too. With all of that, how does comedy come into play? Because earlier we were talking about you wanted to be a history professor, right?
Oh, yeah, so I wanted to... Sorry, I got really off track.
No, that's
If you get me
fine.
going on geopolitics.
was gonna
No,
study-
this is a
I'll spaz
podcast. That's
out.
how it's supposed to be, you know.
Slavic Irish Studies was his
Black
favorite.
Irish
No,
studies.
Don't forget the Black Scottish as well.
I met a black Scottish guy when I was in Edinburgh last year. He
that's
ruled.
right.
You
You did the comedy. Oh
You
shit.
did the Fringe
And I
Festival?
met a black Irish guy.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I was
nice.
like, whoa, tripping me out, dude. Because this is my ignorance. I saw a black dude at a bar, and I've been dealing with all these Europeans, and I'm exhausted. I'm like, they're insufferable. And I'm like, thank God I just assumed, I'm like, thank God I found a fellow American. Thank God I can talk to a real person. And I go over to talk to him, and he hits me with a Scottish accent. I'm like, mother, God,
Oh, I love
everywhere's
it.
been corrupted.
Did he end it with catches?
Oh,
No,
man.
what's that?
That's a saying that they do. There's a guy that says you know Sterling K. Brown, an actor, black actor. There's a Scottish guy. He's a fitness instructor, and he has a similar look. And people were calling him the Scottish Sterling K. Brown for some reason. It's funny.
Here we go. Sterling K. Brown.
Yeah.
I've heard of the guy.
Yeah. And he's a do black Scots trend,
know
black
that
Scottish
guy.
trending. Yeah, go black Scottish trending and see. But yeah, I mean, yeah.
But I was just in Europe, Chris, and it's so much fun to vacation there until like you're there for more than like a week or two, and then you're like, what the fuck is it with the water? What is it with it? Why is everything Why is everything lukewarm?
Well, because also
The beds are horribly
everyone
uncomfortable.
has dead eyes because they.
That video, the second one, the Americans just discovered black Scottish people, which is a misleading thing. That's stupid. Let me see where it's at.
But I really missed American beds.
For the best.
Ice cold beer, nice glass full of ice. You ask for ice, they literally bring one ice cube and put it in your water. Little tiny water. Everything is, would you like still water? Everything is like
That's him.
freaking mineral water.
that's the guy
I
right
want
there.
mineral water.
No, I can't. I can't.
It was little tiny cars.
I can't live outside of New England, let alone Europe. I can't do it. New England's the Garden of Eden. I'm convinced. It is. It's the best place on earth. Tell me any place that's better than New England.
Better than New England.
Better than New
in
England.
terms of what?
Whatever you describe it as.
Food wise, no.
We have food from all over the world. Go to Boston.
That's true.
Well, they can't touch Barbados or the Caribbean for beaches or food.
Okay, we got bad beaches. I'll give you that. Cape Cod's nice though. It's not. It's not the same. I'll give you that. Barbados got better
So,
beaches.
and the Caribbean in
That's
general.
fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Other than that, what does any other nation have? That even the
Food.
rest of America, New England is it, dude. Look at the statistics.
Food.
No, we have because we have all everyone else's food from all over the world. I go to Bridgeport. I get the best Jamaican food in the world, like 2 blocks down from my house.
Bridgeport.
Yeah.
Because
You can't get awesome food here. and any kind of food.
Yeah, you can.
And that's
one-
why the
you know-
Jamaicans come here to make the best food because they know New England's the best place on earth. And they're like, I can't wait till we get to Bridgeport, Connecticut. That's when we've really made it. And then you get Mama Mary's Jerkyard, and it's the best place on earth. I don't want to swear.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you this: Does Connecticut have an accent? Can you?
We
Can
speak
you?
English correctly.
Can you? Can you say? You say, oh, that's a Connecticut accent. I've never heard
So
of it.
here's the thing. It's a theory. It's not a theory. It's the truth. People say it's a theory.
Yeah.
The truth is, there's only 2 places in the world that speak English correctly,
Okay.
and it's not England. You have New England.
Okay.
Not even because then you have you have Connecticut.
Right.
You have Connecticut, and you have parts of California, and everyone else speaks with an accent.
What parts of California?
Here's how I'll prove it to you. When you watch the TV, when you see actors, unless it's set somewhere specific, you see a news anchor. What do they speak like? They speak like me. Ergo, we speak English correctly. Everyone gets trained in acting school and broadcasting school, less so nowadays because the accents are going away, but back in the day, you would be trained to talk like I talk because I speak English correctly without an accent.
But everybody has an accent. Even your non-accent is an
No,
accent.
because we're the proper way to speak English. Everything else is a perversion of that. It's like nothing against Philly or New York or Boston. That's fine, but they have an accent.
So Queens doesn't have an accent.
Queens has an
Queens, New
accent.
York.
No, it's very no. If you're from Queens, not really. You know what has an accent? Long Island, Jersey, Staten Island, Brooklyn. It's got that
Long
Italian
Island,
influence.
in North Jersey.
It's horrible.
Best, one of my favorite accents.
Stickers, dude. I gotta get the sticker on my
show
car.
me a chick with hoop earrings and cheetah print with big hair. Going, Christopher, what are you doing? Always chewing gum.
Oh, well, you won the. What is a
I'm in
velvet
love. I'll
sugar?
propose.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I always thought that was the least sexy accent.
Oh, so
Which one?
good.
What?
Long Island. Oh my God, Christopher.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But I love accents because they're so regional all over.
Fun.
Oh, of course they're great.
I think there's like 27 different regional accents in the U.S. or something like that.
It's got to be more.
What's the
than
Fraser's accent? Do you know his? People confuse that for English, right? For the
No,
English
he's
accent.
just like pretentious. I don't think it's.
No, there's a name for it. It's like the Pacific Northwest. It's a certain name of that accent. I don't know what it is.
But back to how did you get into comedy?
Oh, yes, I keep getting off track.
How long are you doing comedy now?
Like 6 years, I think.
Oh yeah, you started. I'm 7, a little over 7.
Yeah, I started like right.
I remember
before
you
it came
started
down.
like I was in a year, and I saw you first time at the Rhino
Yeah, so that
wearing
would.
a black suit with shorter hair.
Yeah. I used to be a business professional. So I was in. I bounced around college a lot because I had a bit of a drug and alcohol problem, and my goal was to go to grad school and be a history professor, Southern African history. That was my goal. I'd done my whole capstone on South Africa and the Soweto uprising in a long story. Hey, so that's. You can look it up. It's interesting. I'll talk to you about it if you DM me. I have so much knowledge on it, no one cares. So I did all that,
Right.
and I graduated, and I had like a 3.2 GPA, which isn't horrible, but it's not.
It's a B.
Yeah, it's not great.
To be.
And that was because I was, getting funny with the drugs, doing a lot of acid, all that stuff. And I looked at, because there's only like 10, and I don't know what they are now. I apologize. I'm sure they've changed. But at any given time, there's only really it's probably the same for other things, but I knew for history because I did a lot of research and talked to a lot of professors and people in that industry. There were 10 schools that were worth a damn getting your master's and then into your PhD at the same program, that you had a chance to then actually get a school to look at you to be on a tenure track. Because it's very competitive. Because once you're a professor and you get tenure, you're going to teach for 50 years. That position's not opening up. They only need so many history professors. So there's very few openings. And I realized I could not get into any of those schools. So then my alternative is I'm going to go to WestCon and get a PhD from WestCon, and then the only place I can teach is like a community college. Because no state school or private school is going to look at me with a WestCon PhD. No hate on WestCon, but you know what I mean. So it's like, okay, so this dream is kind of over because I don't want to be a community college teacher. I don't want to be a history teacher. I want to be a college professor. I want to be at a university because I could have done a college, but I wanted to do research. I wanted to publish, and you can only do that really at a university. And I didn't have the skills to get a PhD, master's program, then PhD because it's all stacked. So that was kind of done. So I figured, okay, I'm going to take like 2 or 3 years off. I'm going to work and save, because also I didn't have any money at that point. It was in school debt. I'm going to work for a couple of years, and then I forget, I had this plan to go to a certain school to get a master's, and I was like, I'm going to do really, really good on that master's and network a little bit, and then there's a chance I can get into a good PhD program, and then I can turn this all around and I'll be fine.
Okay.
So that was my plan. I'm going to work for a little bit, get into a good master's program, swing that into transferring into a good PhD program, and then I can be a professor. I'll be like 3 years behind, but whatever, I'm going to do it forever. So if I become a professor at 35 versus 32, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
Okay.
And then continued to be more of an alcoholic. It's funny how that works is, when you have less responsibility, you actually drink more. And I was like living with these guys in this house. Basically, my friend's grandmother died, and his mother didn't want to sell it just yet because they were figuring out stuff. So she was like, you guys can live there for like a year or two while we figure this out. Basically, just have someone in there. We paid like nothing in rent just to cover the taxes.
Right.
And it was, 380, because of course all my friends are, and so we're partying all the time. I'm fully descending into alcoholism. At one point I convinced myself, because I was drinking too much, even my roommates were like, hey man, like, what are you doing? It's a Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, they're lame.
Drink it every day.
Oh yeah. And so I would drink alone in my room, and I would save up the beer cans in like a garbage bag and wait till like my roommates were out of the house, and I'd like sneak it into the 100 beers into the. And I got to this point where I convinced myself that I didn't have a problem, because I would only have 4 drinks a night. And that's not crazy to have. I mean, it is. You shouldn't be having 4 beers every night. But I was like, it's only 4 beers a night. And I got away with that for a while. I toned down, and I was like, this isn't really hitting. So then I upgraded to having 4 10% IPAs a night that were tall boys. And I convinced myself it's still only 4 drinks, so I'm fine. Even though like you do the alcohol equivalency, it's like I'm basically drinking a bottle of vodka at that point. Jeez. And so I did that. And I just lost track of that goal of getting to my master's program. I was completely lost. I was like super depressed, and I was working. I actually got a really good job right out of college by some miracle. I should not have gotten it. It was for I'm not gonna say the name, but it was a tech distribution company.
Right.
Where we did. So we worked with the government. So like I worked a lot with the state of Rhode Island and the state of Pennsylvania. So for example, one of the projects I did is the state of Rhode Island. The Rhode Island State Police need to replace all their body cams and tough books, like the computers, cop computers. And so I worked with them for like 3 months and did like this huge order to replace everything. And so I was kind of like a middleman between like Toshiba and them. That was kind of so I had a Toshiba rep. I'd like bully him to get pricing down. And then I would say I'm going to give it to the customer, and then I wouldn't. And I'd keep the difference in commission. And because the head of purchasing for the state police loved me and hated our competition. So I think he was probably an alcoholic too. That's why we got along. So like I was able to get away with that. And I made tons of money doing very little work because it was all government. So once the first sale was hard, but then you were kind of stuck with me because we had all these contracts. So now it's like I didn't have to do a great job because like you got to buy from me. What are you gonna,
Right.
And my roommate at the time, because I was never into comedy. I wanted to go be an intellectual. Was my goal. I was like, and so. He really wanted to do comedy. He was listening to Joe Rogan all the time and Joey Diaz, and he's like, "Oh, this is so interesting. This is what I'm going to do." And he would convince me to come with him to the open mic at the Bridgeport Stress Factory every Wednesday. It used to happen because there were drink specials, and I was like, "Okay, if you drive, I'll go," because I wanted to get blackout drunk, and I was always very careful about drunk driving. That's the one thing I did because I had a lot of friends who had DUIs. I didn't want that to be me.
Right.
So I'd go with him, and we went for like 2 or 3 months every Wednesday, and just sit in the back and kind of like. Talk shit about the guy's mom and
so it
stuff.
took you a while.
Yeah, no, I had no interest in doing it. I didn't know why we were there. In retrospect, it's because he was building up the courage for him to do it, right? And so I was just there to drink. And then he wanted to do it. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do it as a laugh." Like clearly he wanted, he'd been planning this, but he was like, we can't take.
It's like a bucket list thing for. Is he still doing comedy?
No. So he wanted to do, but like it was clearly something he wanted to do, but he wanted to be like too cool because it was all of us. It wasn't just him. It was like we were. Like 23, like, yeah, we're too cool to try at anything, man. She was like, no, it'd be like funny if we did it though, right? Yeah. But like as a joke, like not serious, like we're not actually doing this.
You're creating a wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Something goes wrong.
And he like kind of almost bullied me into doing it because I'm like, I want this gayest stuff on earth, getting on stage. What are we doing? What are we, on Broadway? We're gonna do a musical? Like that was my attitude. But he kind of wore me down to doing it with him, and so I signed up. I was like, oh, whatever, I'll support my friend. And we go do it, and I was pretty drunk, and I said like one joke, and it got a laugh, and it freaked me out. I got like because everyone laughed,
Yeah.
and I was like, I didn't expect that, and I ran off stage. I only made it like a minute in my first mic.
Really?
Yeah, and then the guy. Shouts out Big Sam Hunter out in
Sam.
Austin, Texas. So he was the host there. He comes up, he's like, "Hey, was that your first time ever doing comedy?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That was pretty funny." I was like, "Yeah, I only did it the one."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, like you should do it again. There's another open mic tomorrow. Like you should come do it. I think like you'd be good at this." And because I knew him from coming to the mic for 3 months, just being like an audience member.
Talking to him.
So we had like a rapport. And I was like, "All right, man. Like if you think, sure." And I was thinking like that was a one-off. I got really lucky. I probably just shocked everybody. We'll just do this again and realize it's silly, and we'll go back to drinking realistically. But grad school was the theory. So I go to the next mic, this place called the Sea Grape in Fairfield, which is like a dive bar. And then I do the same joke over there, and everybody laughs. And I do the same thing. I freak out and I run off stage because I don't know. I had like another 2 jokes prepared, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. And it hit harder than any drug I'd ever done.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I think this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. Like after the second one, immediately I was like, and I went from comedy like lame. I wouldn't do that. That's a try hard thing to do. All that self-destructive. Like I'm too cool for stuff.
Do you remember the joke?
I do. I can tell it. It's bad.
I mean, do you still tell it? I don't want to make you burn it or something.
So
go ahead.
The joke is, and this was actually I had stopped smoking weed because I thought that was the problem. It wasn't the liquor. It was the weed. Because the weed would give me the spins, I'd throw up, but I wouldn't throw up if I just had 12 beers normally. So that we had to stop the weed. We were responsible. We're a business. That was the insanity I was living in. So I'd quit weed that month. So that was on my mind. And I go up and I'm like, yeah. So I recently quit weed and that's been tough, but it's like it's cool because they say like weed makes you lose your memory. You forget a lot of stuff. Your short-term memory goes away, and but the opposite happens when you stop smoking weed. My memory's coming back, and it's cool because I never forget people's names, and I never forget my keys in the house. And I always remember people's names. I always remember my keys when I leave the house. And I even remember that one time my uncle molested me, and I just paused, and everyone laughed, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And I ran off stage. So that was my first. That was my first comedy joke. That was it.
Oh man,
it's amazing how it always takes a build up because it took me years. It took me years. I wanted to do it 1996, 97. Yeah. And it took until 2004 for my first mic.
Well, yeah, but you got a nudge from Sam. I got a nudge from somebody. It's funny when those people nudge you. You never forget them, right? Like
it's one of those things. Like I never even
would you have done it if he had said that to you?
I had never considered doing comedy. I only did it because my roommate, who I don't even talk to now, is just some guy I was living with, kind of like pushed me into it because he wanted to do it. Like he didn't even really care if I did. He just wanted a friend to go to it with and not be doing it.
Ironically, his roommate was a Ukrainian that was actually killed in the first month of the. It's not.
And then I wasn't going to do it after that. I was like, oh, that was just a one-off. And then Sam, who I had built a rapport because he's a funny guy, I was just the drunk guy audience at the mic, and we'd kind of shoot the shit back and forth. And so I liked him. And when he told me I think he'd be good, he'd go do it. I was like, oh, well, all right, I'll give it a try. And then after that second time, whole life became comedy. I was going to mics every night. I was driving New Jersey. It was where I met you out to the Rhino. I was going everywhere I could. And then, quickly between alcoholism and that, there was not much time left for my job. And that was kind of the end of my professional career.
Jeez.
Was showing up hungover from mics on 2 hours of sleep. And they're like, what do you normally come in hungover, but now you're also tired. And that's too much. You got to pick one,
We were on one show together with Anthony Quinn's booked mic. Do you remember that mic? It was like the first thing. It might have been the last thing before COVID hit. It was in what is it across the Hudson here? That's towns is called West. Hold on, it's north of Nyack. It'll come to me in a second.
Not West Nyack.
Haverford, East
Haverstraw.
Haverstraw.
Yeah.
It was like a weird dive bar.
We were on a second show together. We did. We did that Jewish community center show.
Oh yeah, but that was recently.
Yeah.
But that was when you were still wearing black and had short hair.
Because I would come from my job. I would usually sneak out early because my manager would leave super early because he didn't care. He'd been there 20 years. And I would look around and be like, is any snitches around? They're not looking? Okay, I'm out. And I'd leave an hour early. I'd drive down to there, for instance, in my work suit. And I'd go do comedy, and then I'd speed home and get blackout drunk and do it all over again the next day.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then we did a show with Blaine at
I remember.
What was it, a fundraiser, Jewish fundraiser?
It was a It was in a synagogue, but it was like a Jewish community fundraiser thing. I don't really know. It was a good time.
No, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met him at Jackie B's.
That
Met
old Jackie B's.
you and Matt Lopes. We met at the same time.
But man, I was talking about with you this earlier. But so Chris is a converted Jew, right?
I
You're a
am.
converted Jew. Where were you born?
To
Catholic?
Judaism, just to be.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yeah,
He's
did I
like,
say that
this
right?
guy over here, converted Jew.
You were born Catholic,
No,
Protestant?
no.
Like,
So
well,
again, my parents,
raised?
my family got to America and was like nothing Irish. So we're gonna be WASPs now. So they abandoned Catholicism, they abandoned the Irish names, and they stopped speaking Gaelic, and they became Methodists. Actually, my family, up through my grandfather, were big in the Methodist community, like pretty high up in, I don't know what you'd call it, like the church politics of that. And then my grandfather had all daughters. He had 4 daughters, and one of my aunts wanted to go into the clergy. And he's like, "You can't do that. You're a woman." And she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, we don't. We're Methodist. You don't." This Methodism now is like very liberal. It used to be a hardcore, like old school
Really?
church. Yeah, yeah. And my grandfather would roll in his grave if he saw what it is now. And he probably also roll in his grave if he knew I was Jewish. And so that was the end of the line. That was no, like, okay, we were a powerful method, powerful, in Methodism. We had no money, but it was like that thing. It's like a known Methodist family to like, okay, well, I had all daughters, so that's the end of it, I guess. And that was it. And then I
Dude,
wasn't
your
really.
life is like a movie script.
Yeah, and then I wasn't really raised religious at all. And then I found the Judaism. Well, I was kind of raised in a cult, but then I found Judaism later on.
How you kind of raised in a cult?
Raised in a cult.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you serious?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
mentioned this to me, but like we talked outside of what was that in Connecticut? That
Yeah,
place?
Eco.
Eco that one time, but it has been a while.
Yeah, so
So
my mother wasn't involved in it, so I want to just be fair to her.
Yeah.
My mother was like a good Christian woman, and she didn't really raise us Christian, but like we did Easter and Christmas were very important. We weren't like us every Sunday churchgoers.
yeah.
But we might go on Chris. Like to this day, I take my mother every year on Christmas to the church my grandfather used to be the minister at. We drive over in New York. I don't want to say what town it is, and we go there, and I take her there. So like that, but there's variances in.
So you were like most Catholics are. Mass once a year.
Yeah.
Don't really go to church.
That's not exclusive to Catholics, though. But yeah.
Like that's how I grew up. Mass once
Yeah,
a
so
year.
that was kind of the level of Christianity I had from her. But like my dad was kind of like, and me and him are good now, so I don't want this to be like misinterpreted. But it's like he was a crazy person. Like, well, so he was an alcoholic for years. He got sober when I was like 13, I think. 13, 14, somewhere in there. Like right when I was going into high school, he got sober. And so his solution now that he was sober is he was going to turn his whole life around, which I'm sober myself, so a lot of alcoholics go through that. You go through like a manic phase where you're like, okay, I have all this energy, I have all this time now, I'm not drinking, I'm going to turn everything around at once. Right. And so his solution for that was to get really into ayahuasca and basically joined an ayahuasca cult. And he, to this day, if he ever sees this, he'll hate this because he wasn't a cult. But they had a shaman that was a British white guy named William. And all I'm going to say is if your shaman has a Cockney accent and is named William, you might be in a cult. I don't know how many ancient Peruvian shamans there are named William.
Right, so we are going to purge ourselves?
Yeah.
Oh,
and so,
Jesus Christ.
so even I at like 14, 15 saw this and was like, yo, this is some BS. I was like, I saw it immediately, like even as a kid.
Yeah.
I might have even been younger because he was getting into new age stuff even towards the end of his alcoholism. Like from the time I was like 7 or 8, he was into like magical thinking. You ever heard of that?
No.
Still thinking?
So magical thinking is this concept that's loosely can be applied to all new age. Like anyone who says they're spiritual, I think should be executed. Be religious or don't.
Yeah.
Don't do this spiritual thing because you make yourself God, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
So it's like this kind of general concept in a lot of new age spiritual movements where it's like the only thing holding you back from what you want to do is your thoughts. You could actually fly. No, you legitimately could fly. There's just a small part of you somewhere in your brain that believes you can't, and that's what stops you from flying. And so if you were to jump off the building with entire faith that you could fly and you fell, it's because there was some part of you in the back of your head that didn't believe it subconsciously. And it's your fault. It's a moral failing on you that you didn't believe enough. And so I grew up with that.
Right.
That every failure I ever had was my fault for not believing hard enough. So that went to grades, that went to everything, my fault because you didn't believe hard enough. And so then it went from kind of that and some other New Age stuff like Wayne Dyer and all these charlatans,
Oh yeah,
all these grifters.
I remember him. He used to be on a lot of WNEW stations and WLAW stations. I used to hear him talking about this stuff. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, all these grifters and like so I grew up around him watching a lot of grifters, but it was never like it was never like organized.
Right.
And then when he got into ayahuasca, then he got a shaman, and then he was surrounded by all these other people that had the same shaman. They go to Peru twice a year and do ayahuasca like 20, 30 times each time they went because they'd be gone for 2 weeks. It like really became cult vibes. And he tried to like get me into that. And even as like a 15-year-old, I was like, bro, the other stuff you were talking about was bullshit. This is crazy. This is straight crazy. Like this is crazy. And my mom was also like, yeah, come on, what are we doing?
Shaman never called you.
Hi, Christopher. You might want to just like explore what it has for you.
No,
all
it
100%
was
of your brain.
always through my dad. I never actually I'd seen William before, but we never interacted. He later got a actual Peruvian shaman afterward because William, he found out.
Is ayahuasca a
Wait,
Peruvian thing?
hold on. He said, "William, you found out?"
Well, I know this is gonna come as a shock to you guys.
Yeah.
My dad one day was like, "Hey, I think William might not be the best guy. I think he might not be as pure. I think it might just be about the money for him." And I'm like, "That's
Five. Thank you,
crazy."
five.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay.
it, that's it.
And so that was the end of William, and then he got a Peruvian shaman that only spoke Spanish, and that was so. Anyway, from there, I then found looked for real religion. Couldn't get into Christianity because I read the Bible through like 4 times, and a lot of things Christians were telling me, it's like that's not in there. Here's the thing: a lot of Christians have never read the Bible. I'm not saying all. There are good Christians out there, but most Christians have never read the Bible and will quote straight heresies to me. And I'm like, you would be executed by the church. Like, you're not allowed to believe. Like, the amount of people have been like, when I'm like, oh, why aren't you Christian? I'm like, well, because I don't believe that God came down in human form, because it says in the Old Testament that he would never do that, that God is one and would not do that. And so if you acknowledge the Old Testament, you can't, like, it doesn't make sense that in the New Testament we just make a new rule.
But as a Christian, I see it differently.
Well, how so?
So it's about interpretation.
There's
then.
types and shadows, right? And if you read through the Old Testament, there are types and shadows pointing towards Jesus' arrival in the New Testament. Because again, this whole thing started from a fall. Sin and death entered into this
It's
realm.
almost like the people writing the New Testament were Old Testament scholars and conveniently wrote in a bunch of stuff that retroactively justified themselves.
No, because
But don't you think like everything you guys are talking about, it's just left out? There's some interpretation. There's interpretation.
I mean, if you
Some things
remember, the
interpreted
whole thing
differently
came
by other people.
from what we're taught.
It's not straightforward.
It's Holy Spirit inspired, right? Even though you and I, the authors of the Bible are humans, and they are not perfect people, but yet still is written through them.
Yeah.
So you were always drawn to religion, though.
Yeah, so I try to be Christian, and people would be like, oh, no, well, Jesus didn't come down as human. He was just the Messiah. And I'm like, that's a heresy. Then you're not Christian. That's a fundamental belief is the Trinity.
Yeah.
And then people would, like, completely misexplain the Trinity to me, and I'm like, that's not what the Trinity... And, so I realized that most Christian churches I went to, like, didn't know, even the pastor or whatever, didn't know what he was talking about. And I'm like, you're quoting, like, heresy. This is Arianism. This isn't. He got beat out of the church for this.
It's funny. You took like a very analytical approach to religion.
Well, and then
you analyzed it.
I found, and the whole devil and all that just doesn't make. He just appears out of nowhere. He's not anywhere in the Old Testament, and so I just had issues with Christianity. And I went to talk to a rabbi, literally just to get more. I thought it was gonna make me more Christian. I just had questions about the Old Testament. I thought he could answer better.
Yeah.
And then I met with him repeatedly because I was still interested. And then eventually I was just like, I think I want to be Jewish. You guys, all the things I don't believe in Christianity aren't here, and all the best parts I like are here. He tried to make me go away for a long time because you're supposed to do that. 3 denials. He gave me like 7 denials, and eventually. He took me as his student, and I studied for 2 years, meeting with him once a week, read through the Bible again, read a bunch of other text in addition to the Bible, parts of the Talmud, and here we are.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
I had to get circumcised again, so that was fun.
What do you think about Wiccans? What do you think about Wiccans?
Should be
Wiccans.
burned.
That's
Do you even know what they are?
Those witchcraft.
Atheists, pagans, all those people. If you're not following the book, like Christians and Muslims, you guys are good. You worship the right God, albeit in a different way. But if you're like, I'm a Norse pagan or I'm a Wiccan, it's like you should be burned alive. You should be lit on fire.
Your conversation with Chris goes like this. When you go home at the end of the night, you're like, I'm not really sure he was kidding on some of this stuff, but I hope he was. That's a real conversation with Chris. You go home, you're like, was he kidding? Well, you know what? I'll pretend he was. It's good for my mental health that I pretend Chris is kidding.
Oh God, this hour flew.
It's crazy. I know. We need like 2.5 hours.
I forgot we did like 15 minutes.
Yeah, man. Well, you have a pretty
what you-
boring background
What
and boring
you
upbringing.
got coming
Very
up?
basic.
What you got coming up? We got a minute left. What you got coming
Oh,
up?
you follow me, Chris Warren Comedy on Instagram and TikTok. You can DM me if you have questions. I'm pretty good about checking
yeah.
those. And then I post my dates up there because I didn't memorize any for today. And I don't know when this comes out, but yeah.
What you got coming up?
I got some shows. I'll post them.
Same
You know,
same as well.
nothing that when this comes out.
At Big Alex Comedy.
Yep.
I've got a show when we are together. Cold Spring, this Friday.
Yeah, we'll be in,
September 5th.
and then we do have a show. If you're watching this, the Velvet Sugar team will be in Belmar,
Jersey.
New Jersey.
September 20th.
Yep.
We actually got a bunch of shows together. We got the 5th, the 7th, the 19th, the 20th, and the 21st together.
Yep. We'll put it up on.
Yeah, we put it up
here.
Put it on display, man. This has been great, Chris. We got to have you back, bro.
I would love that.
I feel like we just started to scratch the surface, man. We want to get in some more deep diving.
I realized the time limit. I got very ranty.
No,
It was all
absolutely
good.
fun.
That's what a podcast is. That's what a podcast is, man. It's been fun. It's been fun, my guy. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. All right. Velvet Sugar, episode 31.